Alrighty, guys. It is 3:30 this Tuesday, March 17th, and good grief, do we have a sloppy, boring market? God, it is like molasses. So I got myself into trouble trouble trade on the ES. I was watching this fund drifting higher, then ran down and was bouncing off the mean for a while. Started trading higher. I tried a long trade. I didn't think it was that aggressive, but you can see here how they have immediately reversed the whole thing all the way down. Then repaired it down here at the mean. I might stop outside of this rotation. And as soon as I got a shot, I just got out of it, scaled out of that position. So I'm up 250 on those two contracts. But it's just a basic scratch. And it's like a day like that, instead of that go with trade there, just a bad trade. That's just not good. What you should do is just fade the edges, or fade the closest rotations is the best way to do it. You basically get in as soon as you start extending from a little range, you fade it. Same thing on the way down, you fade it, and you do that, you have a much more opportunity at least. Occasionally, they'll run it quite a bit higher, and you'll have to fade a lot of heat or just get stopped out. But a day like this, I mean, just that's fading the rotations on there's a buy on the low end or side, sell on the high end. That's faded for rotations back. There's no follow through at all. It's just flopping around. So, and but that trade was a shitty trade. I was got impatient looking at, let's try that. That's just a bad way of doing it. So I'm telling you, at this point, just range bound trading is where we are. Not looking at the much action going into the overnight, starting off range bound as well. The good news is that we haven't so far at least taken out the mean in that 65 level, so we have pretty good shape there. But it's anyone's guess what's going to happen going into the close. So if they hold here where they are, we're going to start off range bound, maybe even leave a slight bias to the upside, but definitely range bound. Same thing on the Nasdaq. If they can hold the 960s, staying range bound. Then slight bias to the upside, if anything. And then let's see what they're going to do. Going into tomorrow's trading, we have a little bit going on. We have actually a PPI number, but it's supposed to be coming out, but it says government delayed, government shutdown. Okay, so we have two PPI and factory orders are scheduled, but they're not going to come out. They're delayed. We have an old report at Atlanta Fed business inflation expectations at 10. We had the Fed announcement at 2. So it's pretty much going to be the Fed announcement tomorrow to lean against. The news in the morning, I guess, is delayed. So that's where we get. So Fed announcement, let's see what Powell's going to do, what he's going to say. And then so in the morning, most likely we're going to see more of the same tomorrow morning, I would think. So right now, a couple of trades early on the Nasdaq up $9. Yeah, this last trade on the ES, I managed to get out barely 250, so I'm gonna scratch that trade. And I haven't done anything since, and I was kind of, I'm not going to engage this. It's just too sloppy. And the bond market is just not doing anything either, just kind of drifting. They stalled here at the 15th. They took out the 26s, and they ran out all the way to the buck to 115. And you could have got it filled there at the first rotation up there. That was over here. These other retest 2 contracts, 5 contracts, no shot of getting filled on those. So that's kind of where the bonds is. Range bound, just holding. I think they're heading up to 115, 115.15 here, 115.10 maybe, back to the attractor. So on market, back to that lower attractor at 115. And I would probably start with a slight bias to the upside, looking at the structure for this, and looking to buy against that 25 to 26s and the 20s for rotations back up again. But that's pretty much it. So I think most of it's going to be in a holding pattern going into tomorrow, waiting for the news to come out on the Fed announcement. Maybe get some action there, but right now it's pretty darn slow. So slow more action. Avoid trading it. If you're going to trade stuff like this, fade the edges. A big mistake on my part to look for a bounce of the mean here and thinking that they're going to run higher. No, it was not going to happen. So there you have it. All right, guys. So we'll wrap it there for now, and we'll see you guys back in the morning. All right, guys. Later.